Hi everybody, I'm sorry about the light. It's not the greatest right now. Um, I'm doing the best that I can. But I wanted to make a video today because I know a lot of you guys saw the post about Bailey the other day, and I want to kind of explain myself before I'm kind of viewed as a ranting lunatic. I've found through going through special education with my son and going through the school districts, I've been blessed with where my son is now. I have a great team behind me. Like I was telling you guys in the previous video, we now have the gaps implemented for JJ during school. So, everybody's been so Team JJ and so wonderful that, my heart goes out to everybody in our local school district. The funny thing about this whole thing is that trying to make sure that my daughter has the access to an appropriate public education has been more of a challenge for me than anything. And that rant from Facebook the other day is something I'm not taking down, first and foremost. And secondly, why should I have to? I didn't grow up in Lake County. I'm a transplant here. I came from Sonoma County. And, I moved up here for the fact that I wanted my kids to have a better education. Not that Sonoma County doesn't, but, there's smaller classrooms here. Affordability was another thing. I wanted to be able to have a life for us here. And so I moved up here with that intent. When I enrolled my daughter, who, as I've told you guys before, has attention with focus. She's excited easily. She's had some disciplinary issues because of back talking and things like that. She is going to be 9 in June, and she's my world. No matter how many times she gets in trouble, how many times I get a phone call saying that her behavior was disruptive, we handled that at home. And I am so unbelievably proud of my daughter for her empathy, her compassion for others, her intelligence, her talents. She's an amazing singer. And you know what? She is the first one to pick up on something being wrong with you without you even having to say a word. She has that type of strength in her emotions and her feelings. Where Bailey tends to have an issue sometimes is when she gets overwhelmed. We've talked, like I've said in previous videos, we've talked to our doctor already who wants to see her due to my request to make sure that if there is a diagnosis that can be set, that we can have the proper tools for her to be able to use, whether that's behavioral therapy or, at the school she's currently enrolled in, she has a STEAM building little class that she goes to that works on, proper societal reactions to things and basic core building in a STEAM building, which I loved and was very much in approval of. This year was tough though. I had the initial intention that what I was doing in enrolling her in a particular class was, her third grade class was appropriate. I felt that her school was safe, that it was non-judgmental, and I felt confident in being able to drop her off at school every day. I now do not. And I'm not going to get a lot of likes out of this video. That's not really why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for all the people who message me and talk to me now saying, I had to do the same thing and pull my kid out of school because of certain behavior from people that we drop our kids off to make sure that they're safe. So if I don't get that many likes off of this, or I don't get that many people who like me on the street because of it, I don't care. This is my child. This is your child. And you need to be able to know your rights. Like I said, my daughter has had some behavioral issues in the past and still continues to work through certain things. She has an issue with emotional regulation. She has, we've used some things from ABA with cards for deep breathing. She has a little card that has a candle on the front and then flowers on the back, and she'll sniff the candle and blow out, or sniff the flower and blow out the candle, and that gets her to deep breathe. And she also has amazing friends in her class too. If it weren't for those amazing friends, she probably wouldn't be in that class right now, because she has kids that are so cool to her and that she loves so much because they can tell the antecedent to a behavior before the teacher does. And there's a problem with that. Like I said, I'm not trying to bash, but I'm trying to put the props out there to the kids who watch out for other kids. And my daughter is one of them. She had an emotional regulation issue about 2 months ago, to where she got frustrated over an issue with her homework, and she began to air kick. She was suspended for that because under the terms of this particular school, air kicking is intimidation and potentially harmful to other people in the class, and so on and so forth. So she was in school suspended. I didn't agree with it. I thought that air kicking wasn't in any way a physical harm to anybody other than an inappropriate way of displaying frustration, which, like I said, was dealt with when Bailey got home. We talk a lot of these things out because Bailey's that kind of kid. And not to say that I don't take appropriate actions for when my child is out of line, whether that not be grounding, extra chores, sitting down and talking to them and having them on line. That's my personal choice as a parent. I fought that tooth and nail. And I was told that while Bailey didn't make physical contact, it was still a suspendable offense because she put other people in harm's way by air kicking. And that I started looking up the educational code, because from what I remember, the law saying was that a child of the age of kindergarten through 3rd grade could not be suspended unless it was an issue of physical harm to somebody. It was against the law. But the thing that I found out was that while that's still against the law, it's the teacher's right to be able to, it's not even a right, it's the teacher's decision to be able to suspend that child or not, even if they're in that grade K through 12. So while the law protects our children's K through 12, it's ultimately to the teacher's decision to suspend that child or not, and take them out of class, affect their self-esteem, and bring them back as being known as the kid that's the suspended kid. So that was the first thing. The second thing was my daughter was in a afternoon recess that did not have the adequate amount of adult supervision on the school ground, which was later admitted, and was backed into a corner by a couple of girls that that knew Bailey's breaking point. And again, while I see both sides of it, Bailey pushed one of the girls to get out of the situation. And immediately, as soon as contact was made, these girls ran to that same teacher, who then out of school suspended her for it. It's extremely frustrating for me as a parent because I know my child. And whether or not I like it or not, children are labeled. And that's completely unbelievable for me, but who am I to change opinions of others, especially getting them in people in a room and saying, please don't judge my kid. In my eyes, she's already been labeled. And I've fought tooth and nail. I've had meetings. I've had meetings with superintendents. I've done the legwork. I've beat my feet, and things still hadn't changed. It wasn't until a couple of days ago where I was contacted by another administrator, basically letting me know before my child was even enrolled that her behaviors would not be tolerated at that school, the next school she was heading to. And it was a call after hours on my cell phone where I was asked what prompted this phone call, in which I was explained that Bailey displayed behaviors that were quote unquote disturbing on this tour. And when I asked about what was disturbing, she stated that Bailey was jumping in line and being disruptive vocally. Okay. So why didn't I get a call from her teacher or her principal letting me know that Bailey had disruptive issues that day? Because it didn't. And when I picked up Bailey, I asked her how she did that day, because she's scored on a level of 1 to 10 for her behavior that day. It's basically a token economy. It's for her. It's her reward for the day, letting me know, hey, this is the score I got. I said, hey Bailey, how'd you do for the day? She said, Mom, I got an 8. It was a great day. I said, did you get in trouble at all? I know you had the tour of the new school. She said, no. Why would you ask that? I said, I'm just wondering. Yet I got a call outside the hours of that particular office to let me know that my daughter's behavior would never be tolerated at this school. This is not okay. And if I have to be the voice to the parents who have gone through this, then so be it. Today I have written an email to this particular district school board and have a meeting with the superintendent next week. Any parents out there as well, I want to let you know there's a couple of things that you can also do if you're in this position and you're feeling the need to switch schools. You, at the end of the year, you can request from the school your child's cumulative file and review, and ask, not even ask, tell them what needs to be chucked, because that is our right as parents. We drop off our children to administrators and faculty and trust that our children will be safe, guarded, and not judged. We have a voice in this. There's nothing to say we don't have to speak up. And like I said, I'm not going to get a lot of likes for this video, but I don't care. This is my baby. And if any of you have been through something like this, let me know, because I will find a way to try and make some change. Thank you guys for listening. Like I said, I'm not trying to bash, but I am going to share our experience. And I'm not going to stand in the shadows and hope things change, because we've been made to feel that way. So thank you for your support. And like I said, if you need any help, even a venting ear to listen, I'm here. And thank you for listening to me. Bye guys.